Record of Ragnarok round 1 begins with the battle of the strong boys. Thor for the gods versus Lubu for the humans. Their fight pretty much went like this. Both of them begin to clash, testing one another. Out of nowhere we learn about the volumes and how the humans have gained an ability thanks to the Valkyries to actually harm the gods, being able to actually damage Thor, with us getting some information about his weapons, his divine gloves, and of course his hammer, with it being revealed that Thor doesn't need the gloves. The purpose of them is to actually nerf Thor himself from actually damaging his hammer from being destroyed before it transforms, which it does throughout the fight. Proceeding to actually break Lubu's legs, who uses his trap card to spawn in a horse, which allows him to continue the fight. We get flashbacks revealing his strongest attack, the Sky Eater. Something so powerful was able to split the sky. As such, we have Thor's strongest attack versus Lubu's strongest attack. They clash and our boy Thor is the winner, the chattier of the two. Now going into round 2, we have the father of the cosmos, the supreme god Zeus, pulling up out of nowhere in round 2, who saw that coming, against the father of humanity, the one and only Adam. This fight is pretty interesting as Adam has knuckle dusters as his weapon. It doesn't really play a part, it's just there for the sake of having a volume. While Zeus decides to fight without a weapon, just throwing hands like a madman. It begins with Zeus more so looking down on Adam, focusing on testing him for the fight more than anything else. This involved throwing continuously faster and faster attacks to see how Adam would actually handle them, with him being able to dodge every single one of them, and then revealing his ability, the Eyes of the Lord, or Divine Reflection as it's known in the anime, which allowed him to copy all of Zeus's attacks and actually surpass them in one way. As such, all the attacks Adam just dodged are sent back on Zeus, but this time they actually land on him. This continues until Zeus gets quite desperate and unleashes potentially one of his most powerful attacks, the Fist that surpassed time, which Adam somehow, someway was also able to copy, dodge and send back, pushing Zeus even further into the corner, pulling out his transformation and being able to spam all of his previous attacks, which are now much stronger and faster. This results in Adam to get serious for the first time in the fight to be able to keep up with Zeus in his transformation, with him somewhat struggling as his eyes are starting to get overwhelmed, until something unfortunate happens. As Adam is beating up Zeus so bad, a speck of Zeus's blood actually hits Adam's eye, which causes him to go blind instantaneously, allowing Zeus to finally land his blows and beat up Adam, with Adam now being blind and not able to use his ability until this occurred. Adam grabs Zeus's hair, allowing him to find where he is, proceeding to clash until both of them had really nothing left, with one of them falling first. It was Zeus, however, it wasn't because he lost, it was because he realized that Adam was already dead, however he died standing. As such, round 2 went to Zeus. The gods are now 2 wins above the humans. When it comes to round 3, we have Poseidon, the older brother of Zeus and the god of the seas, versus Sasaki, history's greatest loser. It involved Poseidon pretty much not really fighting back, not seeing Sasaki as a threat whatsoever, and having so much pride he didn't even want to really attack. Just stood there and pretty much waited for what was to come. And this is pretty much for good reason, as Sasaki had viewed himself being killed multiple times before even going for his very first attack, but was able to adapt slowly and predict with all the prep he was able to get due to Poseidon's fighting style in this fight, gaining more power and being able to adapt more and more to Poseidon's abilities, who in his own way proceeded to outmaneuver Sasaki by releasing more and more of his inner power, resulting in him to actually break Sasaki's divine weapon. However, the Valkyrie had its own innate ability to transform into 2 swords, which it proceeded to do, and Sasaki continued the fight. However, still with a more amped up and powered up Poseidon, he was no match, forcing himself to evolve even more to such a degree we have this panel here. Sasaki just became an absolute beast, proceeding to far surpass Poseidon, reach the bottom of the abyss and take him out, becoming the first winner for humanity in Record of Ragnarok. Now round 4 is a little different. we have the first demigod in the series fighting for the gods in Hercules versus a serial killer representing humanity, Jack the Ripper. This fight played out like this. Jack, in every way possible, was a counter for Hercules, as Brynhilde, the lead Valkyrie, prepared this fight in advance, or more so prepared Jack as the one who's going to be able to beat Hercules, which he was able to do by baiting him throughout the whole fight by lying about his volume and what the ability actually was. Hercules agreeing to actually fight him in London, his home territory, having plans, baiting him throughout the whole fight, turning everything in London into a divine weapon, surviving the devastating transformation Hercules unleashed, and being able to finish him while baiting everyone until the very last moment. The scores are now 2-2 for both sides. Coming into round 9, we have the strongest Indian god Shiva versus pretty much the god of sumo representing humanity, Raiden. This fight, similar to round 2, is just an all-out brawl between the two. Raiden using his various sumo attacks, Shiva just throwing hands using his incredible dancing. Both seem to push one another at various points, more so looking like Raiden had the advantage in the early part. Then around the middle, when Shiva pulled out his unpredictable movement, he took the advantage. Then Raiden pulled out one of his special super strong attacks, resulting in Shiva to pull out his transformation, which allowed him to finally defeat Raiden by the end of the fight. Then when it comes to round 6, it is something that changed RAGNAROK forever. We have someone who was a god, or more so a demigod, changing sides. Buddha the Mad Lad decided to fight for humanity instead of the gods, resulting in the lead lucky god to come out and fight him. Well, that's what we first thought. It was actually Zerofuku, the real lucky god, or the fusion of all of them, which was easily defeated by Buddha. Then out of nowhere, we had the arrival of Hajun come out of Zero's body, with us learning that he was planted there by Beelzebub long ago. Hajun ends up fighting Buddha and kinda beating him up until Buddha the Mad Lad was able to put fear into Hajun and actually performed a volume with Zero himself somehow, or at least with Zero's weapon remains, then successfully defeated Hajun, putting the scores back at a draw for 3 wins for both sides. Leading into round 7 with the scores being tied once again, we have Hades representing the gods, someone who wasn't on the original fighter list, and we have Qin Shi Huang for humanity. With this fight going like this, Huang is such a beast, he's able to pretty much outmaneuver Hades at every point. Yes, there was a few instances where Hades was able to land attacks due to his overwhelming power, but as a whole, he had an answer for everything Hades did, and pretty much dominated the fight until the very end. Yes, it seemed like he was going to lose, but the Mad Lad pulled out a crazy combo of all his abilities that we learnt of previously, and of course a reveal of another innate Valkyrie ability which helped him of course, but he was able to dominate Hades and claim the victory. Now we have round 8, with humanity taking the lead for the first time in the whole series at this point. We have Beelzebub, who wants to get revenge for Hades, versus Nikola Tesla, the man who's been on the grind since his death. This fight is more so Tesla giving his all, plus more, plus more, plus more, to try and take out Beelzebub, who honestly is by far one of the strongest gods in the whole series. Tesla was able to surprise him at multiple points with his teleportation and other pretty wild abilities. However, in the end, Beelzebub was honestly just too much for him. His overwhelming power, his broken ability was able to overwhelm Tesla, allowing him to defeat him and claim victory for the gods, leaving the score back on a draw. Now we have round 9, which is the comment round. At the recording of today's video, we only have 2 chapters in the round, but it's between Apollo, the last remaining Greek god, versus King Leonidas. Let me know how you think this fight's going to go down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be providing more content on this fight and all RAGNAROK stuff. Also, shout out to these mad lads who support the channel via the Patreon, and check out all the other stuff in the description. But that's it guys, peace.